Welcome back, family, to the Gifted Goddess channel, where I channel my gifts for the collective advantage. And I encourage you to not only seek your gifts, but to use them for the collective as well as yourself. Boots are on the ground. Take that how it resonates. Today is November 7th, 2025. I feel compelled to say that it's the day after the full moon. So we still have residual energy, right? From this full moon, this was the harvest moon. So from that, I'm just getting everyone's kind of reaping their harvest, reaping what you've sown. Take that as it resonates. For this message, I just got armed forces. DC is significant. DC comics can be significant. Perhaps you're a DC comic reader if you are listening to this. Captain America could be significant. The Watchmen, perhaps you watch those shows, or you are a DC comic fan. Perhaps you live in the DC area. Something about armed forces, DC, villains, heroes, that sort of thing is in the energy today. So I have January 3rd or 11/3 or 1/3, 1990, 2012. So the movie 2012 could be significant. 806 and 804, those could be addresses, birthdays, phone numbers, zip codes, you name it. So take whatever resonates. Remember, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I always say I'm just throwing things out there. Catch what you can and don't crucify the messenger. Okay? So I just got heavy artillery. The Civil War movie is significant. And when I looked up the synopsis, I believe there's a Captain America movie. So I believe there's a Captain America movie called Civil War. But when I looked it up, I saw there's some other movie. Gettysburg is coming through. Wasn't that in Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania Avenue could be significant. That's in DC, right? The Civil War movie was made in 2024. The synopsis is: in a near future, the United States at war with itself. A group of journalists races to interview the president before rebel faction captures the White House. So something about that movie could be significant. I'm just throwing things out there. Catch what you can. Something about lists are significant. We're going to be hearing more about lists. The lists that are in question now, these Epstein lists are coming up, and it's much more than we know, much more than it appears to be, more than just SA. I'm getting jets are significant. Jet setting could be significant for someone here in this energy. And I'm getting black and yellow. Something about that is significant. I'm getting sports teams, black and yellow as well. Also, the Celtics, Boston could be significant. Boston Tea Party is what's coming through. I got that in another download. Just with the no taxation without representation, right? That was the whole thing with the Boston Tea Party. So something about all that is going down. That's significant. I kept seeing 654 today. And while that can be a countdown, for me, what that signifies is a magic trick, right? Something being done right before your eyes, and you don't really see what's going on. You don't really see the bigger play at hand. Is what's coming through. So again, take what resonates, drop what you can. I'm not here to induce any fear. I am just being obedient in delivering the messages, right? A journalist, if you will. A spiritual journalist. How about that? Let's call it that. So, like I said, heavy artillery, significant. Nazi boot camps was coming through their training. And I'll leave that there. Training underground, perhaps, or something's underground, undercover, right beneath the surface again, right before our eyes, right? Something, just right beneath the surface. So we're kind of living our everyday mundane lives, right? And there is a whole other world occurring just below the surface. And I'm getting just something dark, something sinister. The Gorgon I'm getting, so stranger things could be significant. From that, I'm just getting the truth is stranger than fiction. So the things that have been going on, that will be turning up, that will be uncovered. What I'm getting isn't even anything we could fathom. This goes beyond the human mind, the human imagination. I'm just getting very sick, like depraved energy. I am getting, it's heavy, like rituals. It's heavy, um, let me be frank, I'm getting heavy rituals, heavy blood, it's heavy sacrifice, right? Of younger people, right? So before I was just getting the alerts of Amber, if you catch my drift, right? But at first I was thinking that's what this message was going to be about at that coming up, and maybe that might be significant. Maybe that might trigger something to be seen, or the cherry on top of the icing, if you will, like the tip of the iceberg. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. The tip of the iceberg. So something may occur or has occurred recently, perhaps with the alignment of the stars, perhaps with this full moon, just with this energy coming up, right? So everyone's getting what they reap. Everyone, if you work hard enough at something, you get the benefits of it, whether it's good or bad. So if you invest all your time and energy into negative things, you reap the negative benefits of that. If you are a good person of righteousness and you dedicate your things to positive things, you will reap positive things back, right? So something about that is significant. It's just taking me back to the message I did. I kept hearing today, this is Halloween, this is Halloween. So something about that reading is significant. So if you're watching this, you definitely want to go back to the Halloween readings, plural I'm getting. So they all kind of have a Halloween poster, right? So yeah. So then from that, I just got a sneak attack, a shark attack. Again, something is undercover. There's some type of sneaky energy in the energy, but we're prepared for that. So I'm getting spiritually, things are being prepared. So what they can't see is while they're doing things in the dark, other things are occurring in the dark. So while they move underhandedly, I'm getting the Most High is moving overhandedly. So if you overstand, you don't need to understand. Those who get it will get it. I'm just seeing, okay, so we're prepared for that. From that, I'm getting, because I'm being guided to read it again. So just from that, I'm getting, unfortunately, the underprivileged people in society have been accustomed to dealing with situations and circumstances that have been depraved, right? That have been heavy. And some is heavy. This energy is heavy. Some's heavy in the energy. Like, I'm getting timing is of the essence. So I'm not trying to rush. But we as a society, the ones who have to suffer from the hands of the 1%, taking all the resources and things, right? We kind of know how to survive without, right? So whatever they're planning, what they don't understand is, I'm hearing, we're not new to this, we're true to this, and I'm getting as above, so below. So it's not just us. We have ancestors. We have heavy boots on the ground. You get my drift? You get my drift. Heavy boots on the ground. So they think it's a game, right? They think that we're just here. We're just la di da di da, like easy targets, but we shall see. So from that, I just saw the black man. It was like a meme or a GIF or a GIF. Somehow gifts are significant. I was getting heavy Christmas energy again. Getting the gifts that you give out is what I'm getting. Reaping what you deserve. So some people will be getting big lavish gifts and some will be getting lumps of coal. The first shall be last. The last shall be first. So the GIF or the meme is the guy. It's a black man like wearing a fur coat. Sorry if I sound anxious. I'm just anxious to get out of this energy. The black man wearing a fur coat, he's like laughing as he's getting in the back of like a Rolls Royce or a Maybach, some type of luxury car. Luxury cars are significant, right? These are upper echelon people, like I said, the 1%, that top tier that think they are getting away with something. But the Most High, Spirit Team, angels, ancestors are all over it. They got something for everything they think they got. So like I said, the underhanded stuff is some stuff being worked overhand, right? And I'm getting spirit, the divine, the angels, they're working overtime because enough is enough. This is just diabolical. It's all a part of the divine plan, and that's what we have to remember. Just remember with that 3-eye atlas, like I said, that came into our orbit to one. Let's just talk about the 3-eye atlas for a minute. It's something that they can't figure out. They don't understand. All the experts at NASA can't understand how it its movement is. I'm getting migration patterns. Okay, so something about that is significant. Birds migrational patterns could be significant, but they don't understand how it travels. They don't understand time, travel, space. I'm getting they don't understand. I'm hearing duality, but what I'm getting is the different planes of existence all at one time, right? So how time is not linear, right? If you overstand, I don't need to have to make you understand. Okay. So 3-eye atlas came into our atmosphere. They don't really understand it. It picked up speed when it shouldn't have. It's changing colors. It's changing trajectory. So something just never seen before will be occurring in more ways than one is what I'm getting. If you overstand, I don't need to make you understand. It's going to be our new slogan over here, especially with messages like this. It's all a part of the divine plan. Just remember that again, 3-eye atlas was adding some splah to our energy, to our auric field, to kind of, get the ball rolling a little faster, to make a cesspool doesn't sink until it's stirred. So to get this energy stirred up so it can be eliminated. There's a scheme. The scheme is brain rots, to rot the brains of people, to basically make us, I heard mummified, little God, to make us, I just got maggot filled brains, to make us, good Lord, this energy is dark, to just make us slow brained, slow operating, just to make us robotic in a way, right? So they're trying to make robots humans and humans robots, right? So where we are devoid of emotion, devoid of empathy, sympathy, compassion, because let's face it, that is what they like, right? We have people with calcified pineal glands operating the countries around the world, heavy around the world, not just here, right? But the real stars are out, okay? The real star players have been activated, and I'm just getting Star Family is here. Heavy boots on the ground. I don't think y'all understand what I'm like, how far, wide, and deep this stretches, but this is, I'm just getting what a time to be alive. I'm seeing 4th of July fireworks. Like, this will be true freedom for all. Europe 1347 is significant. So that year is when the Black Plagues basically plagued down on the Europeans. And I'm being guided to say here, the wonderful George Washington, one of his famous quotes was, "Never let the Moors know who they are," right? But it's, and I don't mean this to diss or shade anybody, right? Shade, I'm getting shade trees, willow trees are significant. Ancestral roots and lineages is coming through. Oh, okay. That's basically letting me know they're coming through as support as I say this. He said, don't let the Moors know who they are. But the more and more we have to tell people basic things like how to wash themselves, how to wash and properly clean their food, how to act accordingly, how to act like a human being instead of respecting animals more than you do humans, giving more respect, love, and compassion for fucking dogs dying in the street instead of humans being slain in the street. Are you kidding me? It's clear who the Moors are. We know, okay? It's not a secret. Y'all know, we know, everybody know. Like I said, this is further, wider, and way deeper than many people can understand. I'm not even going to get into it. Okay, so let's continue. Thank you, angels, ancestors, for coming through with that. Just thank you, Most High Spirit, for bestowing me with these gifts to deliver these divine messages. I'm just getting there stuck. They're in bondage. They're stuck around. It's wrapping around them like serpents, like, and they don't even see it. Oh my God, they're surrounded. They go outside. They do their everyday lives like nothing's going on. Go to their golf club courses and go to these events and go to these fine dining dinners and have all these bland plates of food, and as they're cackling and laughing, so is the Most High. As they make their plans diabolical with no love, the Most High is peeling back the layers. This was all part of the plan so it could be seen, right? So no longer can we sit here and say, I don't see color, right? We don't see the problems that's going on in this world. We're the only way to solve a problem is admitting. Admitting is the first step, right? So somebody could be in AA, 12 steps could be significant. Having the serenity, right? The serenity prayer is significant. Just having the understanding of what you can and cannot control, and having the understanding of that. I forget what the serenity prayer is, but y'all get what I'm saying. Rings of fire is what I'm getting. Oh, that might be for me. Okay, so by the time they see this, because they're watching, they're watching, they know that the Moors, you know, some of us have a deeper connection than others. I'm getting the Minority Report. We restore faith in humanity, the precogs, right? They know that there are precognitive people that can see the future, hear the future, to report on this like like a spiritual journalist, like I said. And they know that, so they watch the readings, they watch, what, who is commenting in these chosen groups, what the atmosphere is, doing temperature checks, throwing things out there to see who bites on, saying I'm a chosen one, and who is this direct channel, and who's volunteering, what gifts they have. That's why I I don't come on and tell what gifts I have. I don't come on and I don't encourage you to say exactly what gifts you have. You're just being guided to use your gifts for the betterment of humanity, right? The betterment, not the detriment, as they've done for too long. Time is up. It's over. So the black plagues are significant. I'm getting they want to create their own plagues. They want to create things. 2020 significant. They, right? And then to double down on it, create a jab that is equally or if not more treacherous, dangerous, harmful to the body, right? Now we're seeing the effects of the jab. So many people I know have said, they wish they never got it. I know many people with, long-standing issues from it, heart issues, clotting issues. Let me tell you something. Okay, so I'm trying to tread lightly. I'm clear to say certain things. As a funeral director, right? What I can tell you is I could tell very easily who got the jab. How could I tell? The amount of clots that were coming out of people were horrific. Okay? Horrific. And I'm talking, it just, I had several instances where embalming takes about, if you don't know about the embalming process, you basically inject embalming fluid. Something about this is significant. Heavy Egyptian energy. The Egyptians were the first to embalm. I'm just getting Ma'at energy, Isis energy, again, Anubis energy. We have a lot, I'm telling y'all, we have a lot going on here. As above, so below. But the embalming process, now how we do it is different than they did, of course, right? So we enter into the vascular system by the carotid artery, right? And you push fluid through the arteries and drain out of the vein, right? So basically removing all the, blood and things like that from the body to preserve it, right? So if I put embalming through all, some about this is important because I don't even know why I'm saying this. But once the fluid goes through the vessels, right, that's all throughout your body. So the whole system I'm getting is immaculate system, is immaculately made. We don't need to make humans. Why would we make robots? And why would we make fake humans? That's weird. That's sick. While we, strive to be heartless, right? But when we want to make a way for robots to be more compassionate and have a soul. So this is probably going to be a longer message. I'm warning you now. I just saw 2, 3, 4, 9 on the timer. So anyway, when you're embalming, basically you're forcing all the fluids out of the body. What I saw coming out of people's bodies, the amount of clotting, I'm sorry, I should have did a trigger warning. The amount of clotting that came out of people's bodies was beyond concerning. And I'm talking, okay, so the embalming process can take, as long as there are no drastic issues going on, different medications, cancer, things like that can affect someone's body. I'm getting long-standing nursing home situations. You can have someone in a nursing home. Something about nursing homes are significant as well. I saw that before I came on. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. Y'all just want to have to catch what y'all can. I can't sit in this energy too much. So yes, the 2 hours that it takes to embalm, right? In a normal circumstance, you might have a couple clots come out, right? You might have your flow restricted because there's a clot. Once a clot comes out, the flow is continuous. You have an effortless embalming process. I don't know why I'm explaining this to y'all, but this is what Spirit's calling me to do. So here we are, your spiritual journalist. Oh my God. So, yes, so then you'll have an effortless flow. Something about a flow, a heavy flow is significant. Somebody could be having a heavy menstrual, a heavy clotting issue, and you're trying to figure out what it is. Consult a doctor. I'm just getting heavy flows past 30 days, 25 days. Yeah, consult a doctor. If you have that going on, consult a doctor, and also do your own research, right? Because doctors are practicing medicine, right? So they don't have all the answers. They may have some, right? But do your due diligence and practice. Now I'm just getting parasitic energy. You might have a parasite you need to cleanse as well. Fast from sugar, nasty things like sugar. Anywho, the embalming process. So normally you might have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 clots. Okay, cool. When I say there were patients coming in, cases coming in that had just endless amount of clots pouring out. I'm talking about for the full 2 hours that you're embalming, you have clots coming out nonstop. That is abnormal, right? So, and I saw that right away as a early embalmer, as a young embalmer, as a newer funeral director, right? So you could just tell something was off. It's just taking me to, someone was saying online, you can tell who got the jab and who didn't. It's like I don't know, like their brains have been activated or turned off, brain rots. That's what I'm really getting, like it's rotted people's brains or something, or just turned off that pineal gland like a light switch. Wow, I'm just okay. So something smashed up, something. I'm just getting smashed pumpkins, pumpkin head. That could be someone's I was gonna say initials. That could be someone's name. Pumpkin head. That's giving me Eve's Bayou again. That's what Samuel L. Jackson's, any of these names could be significant. So this resonates for somebody, so I apologize for rambling on. I'm just going how I'm guided to go. Something about Pumpkinhead is significant. I believe that's a movie. Again, we're back to this Halloween energy, and we should be, moving past that. But at Eve's Bayou, Samuel L. Jackson called Journey Smollett's character Eve. He said, "Hey, Pumpkinhead, I thought you were sleeping." So something about that significant. They thought they put us to sleep because she was a clairvoyant. She was a seer, right? She was a clairvoyant. She was a seer. She had precognitive stuff too. And some about her hands, like when you touch her hands, she could pick up, precognitive stuff like her aunt. So they thought they put to sleep, I'm just getting sleeper agents. They thought they put to sleep the seers, right? Or that's what that 2020 situation was supposed to do. That's why that's why it was mandatory for everyone to get it or you'll lose your job, kind of putting you in a dire situation. So you would take this and I'm just getting MK Ultra mind control, pineal glands, just that third eye being able to be tampered with and shut off, right? So something about that is significant. Anywho, where the hell was I? By the time they're seeing this, it's too late because they tune in. They've been checking in to check I'm getting spiritual journalists with the spiritual climate of the world to see, have their plots been picked up? And surprise, Pookie, it's too late. Oh my God, I said all that and I didn't even realize I said this. Watching all the precogs in real time. got them spinning. They don't know if they're coming or going. So them watching everybody, them watching all the readers, I'm getting Facebook groups, them trying to tap in. I'm just seeing a million TV screens, a million monitors at once. Them trying to track what everyone's saying, make the connections like an investigator in a spiritual sense, to make the connection, to see what's going, because they don't know what's coming from the other side. They know something's coming, right? If you know, you know. They have their own readers that they employ and people, right, to get the forecast of the atmosphere, right, the spiritual plane, right? But it's all divinely orchestrated. I'm guessing they're limited on what they can see. Okay, now I'm just getting what was the girl's name in the vampire movie with Bella, and what the fuck is his name? Edward. Whatever that is. The one girl, I just got Lorena. Reina is significant. The one girl who, she had the short dark hair. She was a seer. And they would go to her for her visions, you know, and they would try to figure out, you know, what was going on, whatever. But she told them, like, it's objective. It's objective or subjective. It's not objective, it's subjective, because, like, energy can always change. It can always change. People still have free will. People can still change their mind. So at any minute, something could change. I'm getting someone's been activated. I did a channeling yesterday where the title was Star Player has been activated. So they don't see, there's stars that they're looking at, and some undercover that they don't see. Some they haven't learned to pay attention to. Some they haven't clicked on yet, right? I'm just getting newer. Okay, so they're looking at the more experienced players in the game. They're not looking at the amateurs. They're not looking at the newcomers, with me just telling that whole story about how I was a, you know, young embalmer and I was going to say intern. They're not looking at the people who's just jumping on board, studying and coming on to the spiritual journalist scene, right? So something about blue jean dresses is significant. You could be wearing a blue jean dress listening to this. Yeah, I don't know. These synchronicities are like disturbing today, to say the least. But yeah, they're spinning. They don't know whether they're coming or going. Oh my God, I forgot I wrote this. Minority reports are significant. They can't decipher what's real and what's not. If you remember in the minority report, they just watch the movie. It's significant. Too much to explain. They can't decipher it. Okay, let me explain it. So in the minority report, 3 precogs were kept dormant in a facility to predict the future so they could prevent crime. This was occurring in DC. So they were using precogs, seers, dreamers who could, you know, see the future before it happened, obviously, right? To prevent crime. So they would keep them like sedated and siphon their energy, siphon their dreams, siphon their sees. Siphon their seeing and their visions, and use that as evidence for people to take them into custody before the crime had actually been committed, right? But what they come to find out is they thought this was a foolproof. I believe I did a channeling on this as well. If it's not on here, it's on my other channel, Truth Be Told Podcast 33. But I think it's on here. But you should probably go back to all my readings at this point. This is what it's looking like. Or they should. Oh shit. So they took the sights, the visions, the dreams of these precogs to prevent crime. What they come to realize is it wasn't a foolproof system because things change, the precogs didn't always agree. And when they didn't agree, there's three of them. I believe they're triplets or twins. Agatha was the main one. The female was the strongest. Something about that is significant. So perhaps the powers that were are paying attention to what males are saying. As we know, this is a patriarchal system. So perhaps they're listening to what the males are saying. Who knows? But something about that is significant. So I'm just kidding, Matilda. So Black Matilda. So they take their visions, but if they don't agree, if all three don't agree, that creates a minority report, and it's basically dismissed like, okay, that's not valid because it's a minority. Something about minorities are significant. I'm getting 25th anniversary of something. Something about Old Navy, an Old Navy veteran. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so the minority report basically was dismissed because they all didn't agree. And there was a secret. The minority report was basically recorded in secret, and the system itself would discard it and throw it away because they didn't want it getting out that this wasn't 100% proof system. So something about this system that they're operating in, whatever they're trying to do, isn't foolproof. It's not going to work. It's something wrong with it that they're overlooking, or that many of them don't even know about because they're whatever. Such a pompous ass is what I'm getting. So they're so egotistical and thinking this is a perfect system. I'm just getting the systems of America, the systems and circumstances they've created in America. I'm just getting, we the people, the doctrines, the contracts that they put in place with people. I did a channeling on this to turn into a poem. The contracts that you make with an entire country are significant. So they don't see what's coming. They don't know what's real and what's not. It's kind of a warped energy because what's in the 3D ain't what's in the 4D, 5D, right? So they're having trouble deciphering it. And then all these different messages coming in from different channelers, readers, right? Who do you pay attention to? Who do you listen to, right? Some of us are talking about a plethora of things. So a plethora of things are coming down the pipeline. A plethora of things are going on all at one time, and it's hard for them to keep track of, especially when you're so egotistical, thinking you know everything. And the pineal gland is closed off, so you don't have a spiritual eye to begin with, because if you did, A, you wouldn't be operating in this energy. B, you would already know what's good, right? Right. If you overstand, you don't have to try to understand. Got it? They're so focused on money, taking down those with money, power, influence to impact systemic change. So they don't want basically, I don't like the word minorities because we ain't a minority. You can't tell me that. And we're all over every country, right? There's islands covered with Black people, brown people, right? But they don't want those people of color with money that have the money, the power, the influence to affect systemic change. So they try to take them out. We see this happening with Jay-Z. We see this happening, Drake tried to attack LeBron, like Kendrick Lamar said, the plan was always to show you the liar, right? So something about Kendrick Lamar's music is significant. I'm hearing, listen to the music, listen to the lyrics. I'm just getting that song OJ by Jay-Z. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. Like, you think it's a game? Something about that significant. I said that in my channeling we the people, or for the 1%, they think that they're just affecting people of color, right? What they don't understand is the 1% is worried about the 1%. They're not worried about none of us. Michael Jackson, they don't really care about none of us. They care about the money and their top 1%, their people on them jets, right? People in high places. They don't care about regular Caucasians. They don't care about, and the Mexicans, the Hispanics, the Latina race. I don't mean to offend anyone. Please do not take offense to that. If you are of the Hispanic Latina race, feel free to comment down below which term is acceptable and what is not. But were in for a rude awakening. See, y'all thought that, because y'all included yourselves in this racial war, is what I'm getting, against Black people. This is just taking me to every channel I damn near did, and being told. I just saw a video of a guy who said he grew up, I believe, in Mexico or something, and before he came here, he was warned about Black people. And there was a whole story that went into that, but they should have been worried about him, is basically what the gist of the story was, and he readily admitted that. Just imagine a whole world thinking poorly of a people that did nothing to nobody. All we do is mind our business. So they don't want us to understand what's going on beneath the surface. They don't want us to affect systemic change, because they know once we rise up and band together, united we stand, divided we fall. Once we get past these goofy little divisive games of, I said it before, I'll say it again, separating people by classes, by socioeconomic status, by race, ethnicity, religion, fucking sports team. Then are you Republican or Democrat? Then are you, if you're in the Black community, are you a segregationist? Are you a Pan-Africanist? Are you, right? We have all these different things to separate us from each other, when we should realize we are humanity. All of us comprise humanity, and we have to get to a place where we can contribute better humans to humanity, right? The world doesn't just get better miraculously. Like, if you're waiting on someone to do that for you, no one's coming, right? We've been given dominion over this planet to do that. So guess what? Buckle up, Buttercup. We got some cleaning up to do. We got some explaining to do, right? I love Lucy can be significant. Redheads are definitely significant. Okay, back, where were we? Before I just got off on a tangent, a little rant there. They know what's to occur, just not the who, the where, the when, and the how. The who is significant. The World Health Organization is significant. Allegedly, the World Health somebody want me to say this? The World Health Organization is important, significant somehow. Who's in somebody's phone is significant. Somebody's in somebody's phone, minding somebody's business. I'm tapping into someone's phone. Take the high, resonate. Don't pick up stuff that you shouldn't. If it don't apply, don't let it apply. If you ain't doing nothing, then you ain't gotta worry about it. But on October 31st, Halloween is heavily in the energy. They released a statement, the World Health Organization, saying they are taking a strategic approach to urban health. Who provides these ideas? Basically, is what we need to know. But they are doing a strategic approach to urban health to become Okay, no, that's something else. But basically, what it basically said was they know that most people live in inner cities now, right? And with gentrification, honey, now their people live in inner cities. Let's call it thing a thing. So now they're concerned about the inner cities and the health of people in the inner cities and people being in food deserts and not having good access to healthcare and adequate education, healthy food. I'm getting whole foods is significant for someone. Perhaps you were there today, or when you hear this, maybe you're in there. I don't know. But whoever this resonates for you, if you understand, I don't need to make you understand. So basically, now they're concerned and they're taking let's go back to what did they say? It's a direct quote, taking a strategic approach to urban health. And I'm just getting Plum Island. That's where they do all the things with the food. Something about that is significant in planes, jets. Anywho, speaking of who's using who? Just think about it. Something about the UN is significant to become a member of who all countries. Basically, if you're in the UN, the United Nations, you could become a member of who, this World Health Organization focused on the health of the world child, allegedly. And you're only eligible if you accept its constitution. I should have looked up its constitution, but you see what I'm saying? So not only do individual countries have, this is what this lets me know, because when you read one thing, you should be able to use your comprehension and your critical thinking skills. Not only does every country have a constitution, I'm getting Bill of Rights, I'm getting oaths, I'm getting mission statements, right? The different entities, and I'm getting empires, the different agencies have their own constitution as well. So you have to accept the constitution of who to be in this World Health Organization. So what's on that constitution, right? And that is a contract. If you have to accept, that's like accepting the terms and conditions of something. If you have to accept it, then you are in agreement. You're in agreement. You are in contract with something. Others can be admitted when their application is approved by a simple majority vote of the World Health Assembly. Something about this is significant to somebody. Owls are significant. The wise ones. I'm getting the gray haired one, the wise ones. I'm just getting older generation. 324 is significant. That could be somebody's birthday, March 24th. That is Aries. Pisces, Aries energy. I just heard Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. So something about the beginning of the year. So January to April will be significant. Who is to assist with ending child HIV by 2030? I don't even have words for this, because instead of building fake humans, right, with fake souls and fake compassion and all the technology things, why aren't we improving humanity? Why aren't we solving world hunger? Why haven't we eradicated these diseases that we know that can only thrive in the body in an acidic state? And if you're in an alkalinic state, they cannot survive. Why are we pretending like we don't know how to resolve these issues? It's because of money. And this is why they have to be removed. This is why they will be removed. So HIV, AIDS, the higher ups, ancestors are saying we have some unfinished business with this. Someone got a lot of explaining to do. It's going to be hell to tell the captain. So I'm getting Christmas in July, 4th of July. I said that earlier. July. And I just saw a video earlier that this guy was talking about who are the real Jews. And he was basically saying, like, nobody Caucasian can be a Jew because, you know, you don't come from that lineage. And like I've always said, there are things like, think of blue, right? Something can be blue and something can be blue-ish. So the thing that's blue is true blue. It's the truth. Something that's blue-ish is kind of blue. It gives off the characteristics of blue, but it ain't really blue. So you have Jews and you have the Jew-ish, you know? Anybody can read a text and come up with a theme, right? You can study something all you want to. Doesn't mean you're meant to do it. Something about that is significant for somebody. Someone's have a lot. Someone's have a lot of explaining to do. It's going to be hell to tell the captain. AA is definitely significant. Grandmothers. I'm getting Archangel Michael heavy on the scene. Zeus somewhere in the mix. The Most High laying hands and feet. There's no one competent or capable in the whole fucking system. How's that possible? And the whole company is corrupt from the top to the bottom. So it must all come down. And then I'm just getting poems that I wrote. Something about child's play is significant, very Halloween energy. It's a must see. Now they gotta know. So basically with child's play, I'm getting a lot of people saying, not it, it's not me, I ain't do it, pointing a bunch of fingers. It's a must see. Now they gotta know. 33rd degree is significant. If you overstand, I don't have to try to make you understand. There's no more pointing fingers and shifting blame. They're all caught red-handed, and red-haired people are significant. Red hairs are significant. I'm getting red fibers, red hairs, the red yarn they use in like crime movies to like connect the dots, and they use thumbtacks and the thread to like connect this and that and this and that, right? Something's being heavily investigated. Captain Planet, he's our hero, going to take pollution down to zero. So you can take that literally, or the pollution, the polluted minded people, right? Whatever. Take it how it resonates. All the elements are at play. Like I said, it's a lot going on in the energy. Old Lang Syne, for old time's sake. So when do they sing Old Lang Syne? I don't even know. That's significant. But Old Lang Syne means for old time's sake. Holy effing airball. So holy effing airball. Soul Survivor is coming through. I'm getting initials AM, CH, EL, LA, KV, JCB. Remember, so the year 1859 is significant. And remember, I mentioned Black Matilda. So Black Matilda is a song, a group, right? Upon investigation, I found out Matilda McCreer is the last survivor of the transatlantic slave trade in 1859. When was slavery abolished? I forget. But we know that people were stuck in slavery for a long time after it was. Anyway, again, that movie Alice is coming through, Antebellum. is coming through. Oh, okay, I'm getting that's another contract that wasn't held up. Because if you're saying the president is putting in the Constitution or whatever the hell they put it, child, that basically black people were to be freed and people still had them captive and doing these different things, indentured servitude and things like that, still had people in bondage, right? That's a contract, illegal. That's the highest order of the land is coming from the fucking president, the VIP person. Some about VIP significant. But yes, so Black Matilda was the last survivor. Okay, I don't even say that again. Then that took me to, so after I researched Black Matilda, it reminded me of the movie Matilda. And in the beginning, it says, to change the world, it took one genius, a girl. The ancestors are laughing like they got beat by a girl of all things. Imagine the patriarchy, this big, tough, rah-rah system being taken down by a girl. I'm getting not even a fierce, intimidating girl, just a girl. Matilda was a girl with books who just read and like did the things and lived through her imagination. She wasn't even trying to be all this, right? The 144 is significant. You can resonate with the 144,000, whether you think it's a number of people or a frequency, you just resonate, right? If you understand, I don't need to make you understand. Everyone will rise, and what they know is they're playing the game of chess on our backs, and as soon as we stand up, the game is over. What they do know is everyone will rise. They can't stop it now. They can't stop. So don't try. We choose soldiers and we don't die. We keep rolling the na 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 na. Listen, heavy boots on the ground. If you feel me, you feel me. What I got from that is the 144 outrank a bitch ass 33rd degree any day. Any day. You want to smoke any day. You'll get it in every lifetime is what I'm getting. That's the ancestors on that energy. We choose soldiers and we don't die. We keep rolling. And na 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 na. Baby. Transgenerational epigenetics. If you understand, I don't need to make, if you overstand, I don't need to make you understand. If you get it, you get it. Right? DNA heavily significant in this energy. Bloodlines definitely significant in this energy. I'm getting Final Destination. Bloodlines, that movie could be significant. Smoke from sinners. He said in the movie, I'm a soldier, boy. You just gave me a command. So something was said. I'm getting to turn on the switch. Something will be said to turn on the switch. It's up and it's up. So the no limit and cash money versus could be significant. I didn't watch it personally, but something about that significant is just heavy army fatigue, heavy. I'm just getting alignment. I'm getting like coordination. So while they're getting information, some other stuff is getting information. Okay, now ladies, let's get information. So information is significant. Information with information is what I'm getting. Okay, Beyonce. Something about all these CDs, records, albums are significant. This won't be a happy ending. This is not going to go how they think it's going to go. Again, you could take this, all my messages, you could take on a personal level. This could be applicative to you personally. It could be locally, heavy on the locally. It could be globally, right? If you overstand, I don't need to make you understand. If you truly are tuned in, if you truly are tapped in, You hear me. You feel me, right? You don't just hear me, you feel me. Hats are significant. We wear many hats. And then unity came through. UNITY. That's the only way we succeed. Unity. And here we go back to Washington, stank self. So, something about the Washington Monument is significant. As we know, Washington was the founding father, quote unquote, of this beautiful land of the free of ours, right? And he was the one that made that statement before, but if you know, you know. So, something about monuments and striking victorious over the cheaters of the system who nam all the food, big bullies. If you know, you know. So, something about Vietnam, Agent Orange veterans are significant. Should have learned this by now. Some about these veterans are significant. I'm telling y'all, heavy boots on the ground. People ain't playing. 1%, this is for you. So that video that I did is significant for the 1%. Someone should have taught you table manners, taking everyone's food and plates, making sure no one ate. Y'all a disgrace. You should have learned kindness, respect, and patience by now. That was a lot of energy, heavy energy. Shout out to the 144. Shout out to the ancestors, the Most High, archangels, everyone who is assisting us. The Three Eye Atlas. We can't forget our star galactic family, right? We can't forget anyone in the collective. I'm getting sea family, sea urchins are significant. What? um. Yes, so this is basically a smash up, a collaboration. You hear the collective talking about this collaboration coming through and la di da di da di da. Well, that could be personal, local, or global, right? I'm getting spiritual as well. So allow me to let you know, as the spiritual journalist, what we're seeing now is a heavy collaboration of different teams on the spiritual plane coming together to uplift the energy of the earth. What we have to do as humans, a part of humanity, contribute healed, happy, healthy humans to humanity. How do you do that? Working on that ego, working on that shadow self, working on that lack of compassion, lack of empathy, right? Unblocking those emotional traumas and blockages in the heart chakra. I have a heart work journal on Amazon. All you have to do is look up the heart work journal on Amazon to help with emotional blockages, right? Because as we know, the heart is not only the center of our life, right? But it is the center of our healing as well. If the heart is blocked off, the body to cease to exist. It does not function. Just as if the heart chakra is blocked off, the other chakras don't get the necessary flow of energy, the life force energy that they need to thrive and sustain the body and the chakra system, so you can work in alignment to get yourself to that Christ consciousness, right? Opening up that pineal third eye gland, tapping into that 144 energy, as I said, so you can see above, you can fly above. I fly above. So you can fly above this little 33rd degree light. That's cute. So someone is flying above, heavy on the jets, the airplanes, the upper echelon way of things, right? Jet setting, I'm getting. So I'm just getting up and away. So we're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, going through the sky. Little Einstein, all aboard, get ready to explore, going through the sky. Something about geniuses, Einsteins are significant as well. That is the message, family. Take what resonates, drop what doesn't. You know, as I always say, I'm just throwing things out there. Catch what you can. If it don't apply, let it fly. I'm just delivering the message. Don't crucify the messenger. If you overstand, I don't need to try to make you understand, okay? If you get it, you got it. We good. If you haven't done so already, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.